The Decade Cameroon. What's up everybody, Eric here from Tea and Tobacco, and tonight I am in my backyard hanging out by my nice little stream, which you can probably hear in the background, and I'm going to be doing a blind taste test of the Rocky Patel Decade Cameroon. So let's get to it. All right, so let's see what we're working with today. So I got a nice dark Colorado here. Nice, super cedar smell. Nice sweet tobacco on it. Touch of raisin in there. Yeah, just a very, it's very super cedar. All right, the seams are nice and tight. There's a couple little defects on the seam. The veins are still nice and tight and small. The pack is pretty stiff. There's a little bit of a squishy spot right there. So it's not completely even with a nice triple cap on it. All right, so let's get this cut up and smoking. And while I'm doing that, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. And you can follow me on various social medias that are showing up in the corner right now. Also, there is a Discord server I want you to know about that I'm in pretty much all the time for text and on voice pretty often. So come hang out. That link is down in the description along with all the social medias. Right off the bat here, it is nice and smooth. The retrohale is actually quite smooth as well. That cedar really comes through on the flavor, especially on the lips as well. In through the retrohale as well for that cedar. Just a very, very mild pepper. Ooh, getting a nice chocolate note in here as well. So I'm gonna get smoking this down and I will update you in a little bit. So I'm about 25 minutes in here, just starting the second third or so. The flavors have really started to kind of deepen more into the earthy realm. That cedar is still hanging out, but it's more earth with some really dark roasty coffee in there. On the retrohale has now gotten pretty harsh, and it really like kicks that cedar really hard. And that's kind of the main flavor on the retrohale. There's some pepper buildup in the back of the palate, or at least some spicy heat. There's really not much flavor that goes with it. It's just kind of more of the feeling than actual flavor on that one. Forgot to mention right off the bat, the draw on this is perfect. The burn has been great. I mean, we've got a nice straight burn here. The ash held on really nicely when I was trying to knock it off because I didn't want it falling in my hammock here. It held on a little more than I wanted it to, but it did eventually break off. So that's where we stand going into the second third. I'll update you in a little bit. Hat of the day today, I'm wearing it's a Kangol 503, but it's a all acrylic type. I'm not sure if they still make it or not, but it's really, since I'm outside and it's really hot, it's very ventilated. It's not like a super tight pattern or anything, so it does keep my head relatively cool. It's not full wool like most of my flat caps. 50 minutes in here, just past the halfway point. It's actually started to develop a nice mild sweetness, especially on the finish. The finish kind of degrades into a bit of a cane sugar with a little bit of pepper in there. Flavor-wise, still on the draw. You have that nice cedar, those dark coffee notes. And on the retrohale, you get that kick of the cedar, but also it bumps up that coffee as well. So I figured I'd give that update because there was a kind of a drastic change right here. I'll update you probably at the end of this thing. So I'm going to end it here. Got about 2 finger widths left, maybe a little bit more. Flavor-wise, still stayed the same. You still had those dark earthy notes and those dark coffee notes and the cedar. On the retrohale, you still had kind of that blast of cedar right on the retrohale, plus those coffee notes in there as well, finishing out into a light cane sugar with some of those coffee notes. There's just a little bit of that cedar actually lingering around on the palate now that I'm kind of thinking about it. Light heat in the back of the palate. Not really any flavor to go with that heat, but it was still there. So all in all, pretty good. Nice sharp burn all the way down to the bottom here. So let's check out what this thing is. All right, so it's the Rocky Patel Decade Cameroon. Thanks for watching my blind review of this stick. Be sure to like and subscribe, comment, question, feedback down below. You can also find all my social medias down below here. And check out some of the other videos over here on the side. And also, there's a Discord server if you want to come hang out. I'm in there on text pretty much all the time and voice pretty often. So I'll see you next time on Tea and Tobacco. See you guys.